Mitch Lawrence, Forbes.com, SiriusXM Satellite Radio. Sporting news, covers the NBA. He joins us now on the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. So riddle me this, Mitch. Everybody's trying to join super teams. Kyrie wants to get off of one. What gives?
He's got problems with LeBron.
Wow.
Well, look, Kyrie is one of these guys. He might overrate himself a little bit, which isn't unusual. We all know he's a tremendous scoring point guard. But, yeah, there's a theory, he wants his own team, et cetera. But, he's been playing with LeBron, alongside LeBron for a couple of years, and he's a little worn out from that, I think. From what I've heard, and I know I've known this for a while, I just didn't know it was going to materialize or develop into a trade demand. But when you play with LeBron, LeBron wants the ball as much as you do, and for Kyrie, that's a big problem because he wants to shoot. And then the other thing is that Kyrie apparently doesn't like how LeBron complains and moans and bitches at practice. I didn't know the Cavs practiced all that much or that hard, so he's turned off by that. And I think the other thing, too, is the big elephant in the room is I don't think he wants to be left holding the bag in Northeast Ohio when LeBron walks out the door. I think he wants to get out of there before LeBron, because why would Kyrie Irving, a kid from West Orange, New Jersey, care about Ohio and Cleveland and staying there if LeBron's not going to be there? So I think you add everything up. And I think that's why he wants to go to, teams like San Antonio, Minnesota, like you said. Now, a couple of things that are interesting to me is where everybody talks about, well, he just wants his own team and he's selfish. Well, why would you want to go play for the Spurs? That's not a Spurs type of operation. A Spurs operation down there is drama-free, which is much better for Kyrie than Cleveland, obviously. There's no soap operas going on, and you're not the star of the team. It's going to be Kawhi Leonard and Greg Popovich. And Minnesota's trying to, build a culture like that around, Karl Anthony Towns, another Jersey kid who, by the way, is close to Kyrie, with Jimmy Butler, with Tom Thibodeau. So that, to me, is if he just wanted to be out for himself, he'd say, like he said, all right, I'll go play for the Knicks. They don't have anything to offer him. But there's a lot of narratives out there. I don't know how many are true, but it is definitely true that he's really tired of playing with LeBron.
Hey, you wrote about this at Forbes.com. Who are some of the teams in play? Now, Cleveland doesn't have to respect his demands. They can send him to Siberia if they feel like it. But who are some of the teams lining up?
Everybody. I think the only team that's not lining up is Golden State. I mean, they don't need him, right? They don't need him. We know Golden State's fine. Everybody else, I know the Spurs are interested. Minnesota wants to make an offer. Now, Minnesota doesn't want to offer Andrew Wiggins. We'll see if they change their mind on that. But maybe even Philadelphia might say, you know what, we got to go with Simmons and Fultz, and we'll see. But 20, 25 teams don't want Kyrie Irving for what he does? Now, he's, one of the two, scoring point guards. Who's better? Curry, Harden, maybe Westbrook. Hey, Kyrie Irving's right there. So I'm sure everybody wants to crack at him. The question is, he's got 3 years left on his deal, 2 plus an option. So it's not like what you saw with the Clippers with Chris Paul, where he basically told him, if you don't trade me, I'm walking out of here after this year. It's not like Paul George. Everybody knew he was leaving Indiana. The Pacers kind of got the message late, but once they knew, they had to move on it. He doesn't have a gun to Cleveland's head because he doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have the power here. He doesn't have a no-trade clause. And he can't leave as a free agent like LeBron next year. So Cleveland could basically say, we're not going to do anything.
Mitch Lawrence with us. Mitch, what about the information that's coming out that maybe LeBron's camp leaked the information? Does that just sort of tell you how toxic perhaps the relationship is between those guys? And if that's the case, how come nobody saw this until Friday?
Well, it's interesting. When LeBron claims that he was blindsided by the news, LeBron knows what's going on everywhere. He knows what's going on in your guy's studio, okay? I mean, he's one of these guys, LeBron. He knows because he's involved with so much with the Cavaliers and his management team is and all that. He knows what's going on. Now, there is a theory that he came out and he leaked it, wants to make Kyrie look bad and on and on and on. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not believing that LeBron, devastated, disappointing. I'm not even believing in that. But, yeah, I think that, Kyrie's camp is upset, and, maybe LeBron had something to do with it, throwing this information out there. Because it kind of makes Kyrie look bad because what you open the show with, why would the guy want to leave LeBron James, is really what's on everybody's mind. And then when you kind of check with people behind the scenes, well, LeBron's like a lot of superstars, He ain't easy to get along with. You'll win, he's going to take you to the finals. But along the way, there are going to be a lot of bumps in the road.
We're talking with Mitch Lawrence about the NBA and about LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. How strong of an indication is this, then, for you, Mitch, that LeBron is out after this season?
I keep thinking he's out. He's sending all kinds of signals every which way. He had his picture taken on a boat on Biscayne Bay down in Miami the other day, right, where he has the American Airlines Arena in the background. So, you got these Heat fans now who are thinking he's going to make a triumphant return. He tweeted out something the other day, apparently, and he had a rocket as an emoji. So now people are linking, well, he's friends with Chris Paul. You got to look at Houston. So, I mean, I would only be surprised if he went back to Cleveland. I think, look, he's back there, we know, for the year. He's already, basically, these people have told some guys in the media, hey, he's not going to waive his no-trade clause at any time for any team. So Cavs fans are stuck with LeBron for another year. We know that. But, I just don't think he's going to, there's so many other things at play for him for the future that he could leave Cleveland and go out to L.A. I don't think he's going to stay. Now people will say, why doesn't he stay in the East? It's easier. The one thing we haven't heard from LeBron is he hasn't come out to basically say, hey, what's all this talk about the Lakers? I'm not going there. He hasn't denied any of this stuff. So he's keeping everybody guessing, especially Cavalier fans. But if I were them, I'd get my tickets now for this coming season because this will probably be it for LeBron.
All right, a couple quickies here with Mitch Lawrence, SiriusXM, NBA Radio. What's Carmelo's deal here? Portland, Oklahoma City. Will he open it up now and waive a no-trade clause to get out of New York, or is he still going to be picky?
Well, he wants to go to Houston, guys. That's the big thing, is that he is very, focused now. He's basically, got one foot out the door, if not both feet. He wants to play with Chris Paul. That's his guy. He wants to play with James Harden. That's what he's interested in. He's not interested in coming back to New York. When Steve Mills came out the other day and said, we want to build a team around, young guys, defensive guys, athletic guys, he doesn't check any of those boxes, right? So he wants to leave. The problem is Houston can't make the deal work because they can't get anyone to take Ryan Anderson off their hands. So Carmelo's going to have to just basically hang on here until the Knicks and the Rockets can get some sort of a deal where the Knicks get something back that they feel like, yeah, we have to make this move. Carmelo needs to go. I don't think he wants to go to Cleveland. If Kyrie's especially there, he doesn't. If Kyrie's not there, he doesn't want to go there. And Oklahoma City, guys, I've been to Oklahoma City. He ain't going to Oklahoma City.
That makes me laugh.
And it's nothing against Oklahoma City, but it's something against Oklahoma City. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay?
All right, Mitch Lawrence with us. What do you know about Derrick Rose meeting with the Cavs today? Yeah. That's interesting. He met with the Lakers over the weekend, I guess.
Yeah. Here's a guy who, back in January, I don't know if it was before or after he went AWOL with the Knicks, which was probably the highlight of his season, but he goes AWOL, remember that. Here's a guy who was telling people, his people were telling people, yeah, he's still going to get a $150 million max deal in July. He might sign a one-year, $2 million deal. Whatever happened to the other $148 million? I mean, that's amazing. Look at his fall. MVP back in, 11, youngest ever, to a guy who might now, even if he goes to Cleveland, I mean, he signs in Cleveland, he ain't starting. It's going to be Kyrie Irving until further notice and J.R. Smith in the backcourt probably. And you're going to have Derrick Rose, a one-time MVP who made over $20 million for the last couple of years, signing a one-year deal for $2 million as a backup. That is pretty hard to match in terms of people who have taken the big fall.
All right, a lot of NBA stuff in a typical downtime. The summer league's over. Free agency has quieted a bit, but we got some big names at the top of the list, including Kyrie Irving, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose. And by the way, Pau Gasol signed, what was that, a 3-year deal for Pau. So, boy, he'll be back with the Spurs.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know what the Spurs, I'll tell you this, guys, Spurs really want Kyrie Irving because he'd be perfect for them. When you look at that team, Tony Parker, up there in age. Kyrie wants to play down there. That's the thing, too. That's his preferred destination. But it's interesting that until they get to that point, I don't know if they have the goods to trade for Kyrie Irving, but he wants to play down there and he wants to, hook up with Kawhi Leonard. they bring Gasol back, and it's just, they need more. They need more because Tony Parker, nobody knows if Tony Parker, how effective he'll be when he comes back because he's coming off this injury. We've talked about it. Torn quadriceps is not easy to come back of it at his age because it limits a player's explosion and ability that way. So we'll see what happens.
Mitch_Lawrence here on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN. Check him out at Forbes.com. His article about Kyrie and some teams that are lining up to get him. And, of course, SiriusXM's NBA radio. Thanks, Mitch.
Okay, guys. Thanks. Talk to you later.